story begins in the quiet and seemingly tranquil neighborhood of Willowbrook. The houses all had their white picket fences, and the streets were lined with trees whose leaves rustled gently in the wind. A picturesque scene that could lull anyone into a false sense of security. Little did I know that living next door to a seemingly ordinary man would plunge me into a nightmare beyond imagination. Dr. Edmund Blythe moved into the old house next to mine on a gloomy autumn day. He seemed like any other resident at first glance, polite, well-dressed, and carrying an air of sophistication. As a retired teacher, he often offered tutoring services to the children in the area. It was meant to be a peaceful arrangement, a neighborly coexistence. But as time went on, I began to notice peculiarities that chipped away at my sense of safety. My first encounter with the unsettling truth happened one evening as I was tending to my garden. Faint strains of haunting music wafted from Dr. Blythe's windows, accompanied by distant cries that seemed to emerge from the depths of despair. I strained to listen, my heart racing as I wondered what sinister melody was being played just beyond my reach. The neighborhood children would often gather at Dr. Blythe's house, drawn by his enchanting storytelling and eloquent lectures. However, their laughter and chatter grew muted, replaced by pale faces and withdrawn expressions. I witnessed the children's gradual transformation, as if something had taken root in their minds and was slowly draining their innocence. Late at night, when the moon hung low in the sky and the streets were bathed in darkness, strange figures would move within Dr. Blythe's house. I would watch from my window, hidden in the shadows, as the flickering light danced upon the walls, casting eerie shapes that seemed to writhe and twist in unnatural ways. My imagination ran wild with the possibilities of what was transpiring within those walls. As time went on, the children's behavior became more erratic and disturbing. Night terrors plagued their dreams, causing them to wake up in chilling screams that pierced the silence of the night. Their once playful drawings turned into twisted and grotesque images, as if the horrors of Dr. Blythe's stories had come to life on the pages of their artwork. The town's atmosphere grew tense, like a storm brewing on the horizon. Whispers among the neighbors turned to hushed conversations about the strange occurrences surrounding Dr. Blythe's house. The air was heavy with a sense of foreboding, as if an invisible darkness was seeping into every corner of our lives. One fateful night, a group of us decided to confront Dr. Blythe, to uncover the truth that had been lurking beneath the surface. Armed with determination and an underlying dread, we gathered outside his house. The wind whispered ominously through the trees, and the air was thick with a palpable tension. The moment the door swung open, a frigid gust of air washed over us, carrying with it the scent of decay and despair. Dr. Blythe stood before us, his once kind eyes now hollow and devoid of humanity. His voice, a chilling blend of mockery and malice, echoed through the dimly lit hallway as he confessed his sinister deeds. He revealed that he was the very same serial killer who had terrorized another town decades ago, and that he had come here to continue his reign of terror. As his words sank in, the walls of the house seemed to close in around us. The room came alive, the very fabric of reality warping and shifting as the shadows danced to an otherworldly rhythm. One by one, we were consumed by our own nightmares, our deepest fears manifesting in horrifying forms before our eyes. The boundary between reality and nightmare blurred, and the sensation of being trapped within our own minds was suffocating. With the break of dawn, the room released its grip on us, and we stumbled out into the morning light, shaken to our core. The house stood empty and desolate, its windows shattered and its walls bearing the scars of our encounter. The town of Willowbrook would never be the same, forever tainted by the darkness that had dwelled in our midst. The children, forever scarred by the malevolence they had witnessed, never fully recovered. The laughter that had once filled the streets was replaced by an eerie silence, a haunting reminder of the horrors that had transpired. As I gaze out of my window now, I can't help but feel the weight of those memories, the chill of that night never truly leaving me. For in the end, there was no happy resolution, no triumphant victory over the darkness. Only the lingering dread that some nightmares are all too real, and that evil can lurk just next door, waiting to ensnare its next unsuspecting victim.